There are moments in history when a single mind seems to tune into something beyond human reason. Nikola Tesla was one of those minds. He spoke of energy, frequency, and vibration not as metaphors, but as the actual architecture of reality. To him, the universe was not a cold machine of separate parts. It was a living symphony, a field of infinite resonance waiting for those attuned enough to hear it. And though most dismissed him as eccentric, he was perhaps one of the few who had glimpsed what mystics and sages had whispered for millennia. That God is not a being somewhere beyond the stars, but the very frequency that animates them. Imagine a young Tesla standing in the dim glow of his workshop. Coils hum, arcs of blue fire dance across copper wires, and he stands perfectly still in their radiance. He is not merely building machines, he is listening. He once said, "My brain is only a receiver. In the universe there is a core from which we obtain knowledge, strength, and inspiration." What if he meant that literally? What if consciousness itself is a receiver, a living antenna tuned to the divine broadcast of creation? Tesla believed every form, every atom, every thought vibrated. This was not poetry to him, it was law. He once wrote that the day science begins to study non-physical phenomena, it will make more progress in one decade than in all the previous centuries of its existence. He knew that behind the solid walls of matter lies movement, behind movement lies pattern, and behind pattern lies intention. The world, in his eyes, was music frozen into geometry. Centuries before Tesla, ancient civilizations already knew this song. The Egyptians built temples whose stones resonated at precise frequencies. The Greeks spoke of the music of the spheres, believing planets emitted tones that formed the harmony of the cosmos. In India, sages meditated on Aum, the primordial vibration said to have birthed the universe itself. And across the ocean, indigenous peoples chanted and drummed not for entertainment, but to align their hearts with the heartbeat of the earth. They all pointed to one truth: creation is vibration made visible. Modern science now begins to echo their chorus. Quantum physicists tell us that beneath the apparent solidity of matter there are only waves, probability fields, flickering vibrations of energy. Neuroscientists measure how sound, light, and emotion alter the brain's electromagnetic patterns. Biologists record the frequencies of healthy cells and note how disease appears when that harmony is disturbed. Even the silence between heartbeats carries rhythm. It seems that everything we have ever called spiritual may simply be the deeper physics of consciousness. Tesla felt this intuitively. He designed machines that mimicked the pulsing patterns of nature, coils that breathed like lungs, currents that oscillated like tides. He understood that to harness energy, one must respect its rhythm. "If you wish to find the secrets of the universe," he said, "think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration." Those words were not an invention of his intellect. They were a recollection of something ancient. For what is prayer? What is music? What is love if not frequency aligning with frequency? Look closer and you begin to see. Anxiety, anger, and despair are not moral failures. They are distortions in vibration. Joy, gratitude, and compassion are not merely emotions. They are coherent resonances. The universe does not reward or punish. It mirrors. Whatever frequency we sustain within becomes the station we hear without. In that sense, heaven and hell are not places but states of vibration. Tesla's life itself was an experiment in vibration. He slept little, often working through the night in bursts of lightning-like inspiration. He walked 12 miles a day to stimulate thought, ate at fixed hours, and claimed he could visualize entire machines running perfectly in his mind before ever touching a tool. To others, this seemed madness. To him, it was resonance, mind, body, and energy tuned to the same harmonic key. His inventions, from alternating current to wireless transmission, were not just technologies, they were extensions of his inner frequency. But here lies the paradox. The same society that benefited from his genius could not comprehend his vision. The world craves results, not revelations. He died alone in a hotel room, feeding pigeons outside his window, whispering equations to the empty air. Yet even in solitude, he said he felt the universe speaking through him. Maybe that is why his ideas refuse to die. Maybe truth, once vibrated into the field of reality, can never be silenced. What if the energy Tesla touched was the same force mystics call spirit? Imagine consciousness as an ocean. Each thought, each act of love or fear sends ripples across it. Every soul is a wave upon that sea, distinct yet inseparable. When you feel inspired, when intuition strikes like lightning, perhaps you are catching a frequency Tesla lived within every day. You are tuning momentarily to the broadcast of creation itself. Consider this. Modern instruments now record the frequencies emitted by the Earth. Schumann resonances around 783 Hz, a steady hum that influences human brain waves. Astronomers translate light from distant stars into sound and find melodies across galaxies. Neuroscientists discover that compassion, awe, and gratitude synchronize heart and brain rhythms into coherent patterns measurable by sensors. Everywhere we look, vibration is the hidden language connecting matter, mind, and mystery. But knowledge alone is not transformation. You can understand resonance and still live out of tune. The true work is personal alignment. Tesla once confessed that his greatest invention was not a machine, but his ability to control thought. The gift of mental power comes from God, divine being, he wrote. And if we concentrate our minds on that truth, we become in tune with this great power. To live in tune is to make every breath an act of calibration. How do we do that today amid the noise of modern life? Begin simply. Step outside and listen, not with your ears but with your awareness. Notice the pulse beneath silence. Wind through leaves, the electric murmur of distant cities, the rhythm of your own blood. Each is a thread in the universal tapestry of sound. Meditation, deep breathing, music tuned to natural harmonics, acts of kindness, all these adjust the inner dial. They lift us from the static of fear into the melody of presence. Science is catching up. Experiments by Masaru Emoto showed that words of love form harmonious crystals in frozen water, while words of hate produce chaos. If thought can shape water, and we are mostly water, then what symphony are we composing with our minds each day? Hospitals now use vibrational therapy. Sound waves heal bone tissue. Light frequencies calm the nervous system. Technology is rediscovering what the ancients knew and Tesla intuited. Vibration is medicine. Yet the most powerful transmitter is emotion. Gratitude vibrates high, resentment vibrates low. Every moment you are a broadcaster. Your frequency feeds the collective field we call reality. When enough of us choose coherence over chaos, the global resonance shifts. This is not mysticism, it is measurable. HeartMath laboratories record planetary spikes during collective meditation events. The Earth itself responds when we remember we are not separate. Tesla dreamed of powering the world wirelessly, drawing energy directly from the atmosphere. But perhaps his deeper mission was spiritual, to remind humanity that energy, too, can flow freely through consciousness, once we remove the resistance of ignorance and fear. He once said, "The day when we begin to think more of discovery than of profit, more of service than of gain, will mark the true turning point in civilization." That day is rising now, quietly, as countless souls awaken to frequency. In ancient temples, priests healed with sound. Today, scientists heal with ultrasound. Monks chanted mantras. Now engineers build resonance chambers. Different tools, same principle. Harmony restores order. When vibration is aligned, energy flows effortlessly. And when energy flows, health, creativity, and love flourish. Picture Tesla walking through modern times. He would marvel not at our devices but at our blindness. We hold in our pockets machines capable of transmitting frequencies around the globe, yet we rarely tune our own minds. We scroll through noise while the quiet signal of the universe hums beneath. He would remind us that the most advanced technology is still the human consciousness, unlimited bandwidth, infinite potential, zero cost. So what is God then in this new understanding? Not a distant monarch, not a moral accountant, but the living frequency of creation itself. Every galaxy, every heart, every spark of inspiration is a note in its endless song. When Jesus said, "The kingdom of God is within you," perhaps he meant that the divine broadcast is already playing inside your being. You only need to clear the interference. To listen is to pray. To love is to harmonize. To create is to echo the original tone of the cosmos. When you sing, paint, write, or forgive, you are reproducing the same generative vibration that birthed the stars. That is why art heals and why compassion feels like light. Both restore coherence. Tesla's genius was not that he built machines, but that he realized machines were metaphors for consciousness. His coils echoed the spirals of galaxies. His currents mirrored the circulation of life force. He glimpsed what mystics describe as the web of Indra, infinite points of light reflecting one another. In that web, there is no separation, only resonance. Now imagine for a moment that your thoughts are waves moving through that web. Each carries information that affects not only you but everyone connected to you, which is everyone. Every act of empathy strengthens the network. Every act of cruelty distorts it. The universe listens to the frequency, not the words. It responds not to prayer uttered from fear, but to vibration born of understanding. Tesla foresaw a world powered by free energy. Maybe that prophecy will manifest not through machines but through awakened hearts. When enough individuals vibrate in compassion, competition fades into cooperation, and energy, literal and spiritual, flows without resistance. Civilization will not be saved by invention alone, but by resonance. You are part of this experiment. Your brain is a transmitter, your heart an amplifier, your body an instrument. The question is, what song are you playing? Each morning offers a chance to retune, to rise a little higher on the scale of consciousness. Gratitude, creativity, service, wonder, these are the tuning forks of the soul. The more you strike them, the clearer your signal becomes. And perhaps one day, when enough of us remember the melody, the whole planet will hum in harmony again. The wars will quiet. The greed will dissolve. The diseases born of dissonance will fade. And we will realize what Tesla realized alone in his room, that God has never been a distant voice but the frequency vibrating in every breath we take. That is the real revolution. Not new technology but new awareness. Not conquering the world but resonating with it. Every time you choose love over fear, presence over distraction, harmony over noise, you become part of Tesla's unfinished invention, the global tuning of humanity to the frequency of divine intelligence. Listen, the hum beneath silence is calling you. Tune in and remember who you are.